All right. I think this is all working right now. And you know what? I can't care about whether or not it's perfect anymore. How you doing, everybody? It's your friend Andy. It is solstice. It is now the 5th time I have tried to record this. And I'm pretty sure I have it now, but there's always a chance it's going to go tits up. Anyways, I wanted to take a moment and say just a few things on this solstice 2025. And that is, yes, we're coming back, but you know what? I'm done with the apologias. It'll happen when it happens. I'm hoping it's going to happen real soon. The four of us are kind of doing things and stuff. Dr. Mark's off finding good trouble to get in, and Chris and Ty are Chris and tying, and I'm still in here having this weird midlife crisis minus the sports car and the girl on the side, because I don't do that anymore. I'm being truthful. But I wanted to take a brief minute and address whomever sees this video. I wanted to address the people who struggle at this time of year. And I've kind of done this before in the past, but I'm going to do it again because you know what? This ain't my time of year. I mean, in the traditional sense, which is really ironic and interesting because this is my time of year in the traditional sense, not the Western traditional sense. And I'm not going to sit here and bang on about all the whys and wherefores, and read you the riot act about the pagan traditions that underpin all the Western traditions and interpretations of this time of year. I'm not going to, because you know what? If you know me, I've done that plenty of times before, haven't I? Yeah, okay. So what I am going to do here is say that I see you out there struggling like I do. I see you, and I'm there with you. This is such an emotionally charged time of year, no matter what tradition you follow. And honestly, interestingly, if you step back and you look at it a little bit academically, you can look at almost all the spiritual traditions at this time of year in the Northern Hemisphere are very similar. And all the ones in the Southern Hemisphere for this time of year are very similar. Why? Because both the North and the South have a solstice. It's just the opposite land, from one to the other. And our spiritual traditions at this time of year actually share more than they're different. And even for those of you who are not spiritually inclined or affiliated or otherwise motivated, this time of year has a level of intensity to it that, I don't know, it takes people by surprise, right? Or it makes you feel things at an emotional volume that just seems to constantly make me go, I don't recall feeling this way before, but in truth, I do. But what I said earlier about this time of year and observing it traditionally, well, that's actually where I kind of live, and it has only grown over the years. But be that as it may, I just want to witness for you people who might be feeling under the weight of a lot right now, that I see you. And I wanted to make sure that I said it now because, for the last couple of years, a number of you, and I see you out there, Jace, a number of you have actually looked to this dumb little project, this little podcast, as some kind of emotional life ring. Now, it's been less. We're no longer deep in a global pandemic, but do still wear your masks in stores, okay? All right, it's not gone. Anyways, you look good in that mask. But the intensity of this time is something that people turn often to podcasts and other light entertainment for, and I guess that was us. And our absence, for as much as I might bemoan the fact that we have like 7 listeners, to you 7 people, I wanted to make sure to say hi and that we will be back. Most likely after the first of the year, because we're all doing end of the year things and that sort of stuff. All right. But, it's interesting. I'm not going to, as I said, I'm not going to go down the Joseph Campbell route of what this time of year picked from other traditions. It doesn't matter. And honestly, Joseph Campbell would be the first person to tell you that it doesn't matter. But I'm not going to tread on that path because that's Dr. Mark's gig. I will say, however, that what Joseph Campbell would say is something that appeals to the better nature of all human beings at this time of year. And that is the predominant story in this myth is one of light and darkness. And not only light and darkness, but light and darkness and how both affect people and encourage people to gather. Okay? And for as much problem as any one of us might have about the canonical interpretations of what this time of year signifies for people, we can all gather. We can all get our heads around how important community is when things get dark. And I say that as a person who actually embraces darkness a lot. It's still the time where you kind of feel better with others around. Now, if you don't have that opportunity, if you are deprived of contact, if you are making a mindful choice to distance at this time of year for your own mental health and well-being, I see you. And my thoughts are with you. But for everybody else, no matter what you celebrate, no matter where you celebrate it or who you celebrate it with, or whom you celebrate it with, I want to say, on behalf of Chris and Ty and Dr. Mark, Krampus himself, I hope you have a good day and a good observance and celebration of whatever you choose. And no matter if it is blaze orange or crimson red felt with white fuzz, keep your hat on. Because we're headed into 2026, and if the last 5 have been any indication, it's going to be pretty interesting. And I'll see you there. Keep your hat on, everybody. And Happy New Year. From everybody at KYHO. Bye-bye.